is why they do it. 6 grueling months of baseball. 162 games in 182 days.
And the story goes on.
It's all for this. One night, one game in October. No more 10-game road trips. No more 3-game sets. No more tomorrow. There's only this moment. The immediacy of Game 7 in an instant, where one pitch can constitute a slump and one swing a streak. October is all about the moments. For the Giants and Pirates, that moment is here.
What a scene here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The host side of the National League Wildcard game for the 2nd year in a row, and they are just as fired up tonight as they were last season when the Pirates defeated Cincinnati and advanced on to the National League Division Series. Hi, everybody, and welcome to as loud a ballpark as there is in baseball. Dan Shulman, John Kruk will be joined soon by Buster Olney and Tim Kirkchin. We've got the Giants and we've got the Pirates. The Giants had an up-and-down season, great record for the first couple of months, swooned, got better, and then did not finish all that well. They did not score very many runs at all in the month of September. Of course, they were without Angel Pagan. He's out, back surgery, his season is done. Sandoval and Pence struggled down the stretch to varying degrees for the Giants. They were really carried at times by Buster Posey, the former MVP a couple of years ago in the National League, and a guy who they know has to come up big for them in the postseason.
Well, absolutely, Dan, because you still don't know what Sandoval and Pence are going to bring. Bruce Bochy thinks the 2 days off is going to help them, but he also thinks the 2 days off prior to this wild card game is going to help Buster Posey. And if he can be any better than he was in September in this game, Pirates are in trouble.
The Pirates have had a good offensive season, 4th in the National League in runs scored, and they are led, as always, by the reigning NL MVP, Andrew McCutchen.
Nothing on a baseball field he can't do. He can run, he can hit. He's a Gold Glove caliber defender. Hits for power too. And if you're the San Francisco Giants, this is the guy you have to be careful with in this lineup. Although others are having great seasons, he's a guy that can beat you with one swing.
The Giants have their best on the mound tonight, the big left-hander, Madison Bumgarner, a guy who's had an outstanding season, won 18 games, and he's the horse. He's the easy choice for Bruce Bochy in this game. The Giants are getting ready to take the field. The Pirates, rather, getting ready to take the field. Edinson Volquez will be their starting pitcher tonight. A lot of discussion about that here in Pittsburgh with Garrett Cole going on Sunday. They still had a mathematical chance to win the division, so Clint Hurdle went with Cole then. Volquez tonight. Bruce Bochy had an easy decision. Madison Bumgarner was the obvious choice. 25 years of age. This will already be his 7th career postseason start, including a couple of great ones in the World Series.
Yeah, a couple of great ones in the World Series, and Bruce Bochy couldn't ask for a better guy to throw out there on the mound. He is one of the most laid-back guys in the game of baseball, Dan, and I think he's going to handle this atmosphere in Pittsburgh very well.
As low-key as Bumgarner is as upbeat and emotional sometimes as Edinson Volquez can be. Does that work for him or against him?
Well, it can work against him if he's overhyped and overthrowing, because he does rely on a sinker and a slider. And if he elevates those pitches because he's overhyped early in the game, Giants might take advantage of it, try to score some runs early.
Of course, all hands on deck for both teams as the Pirates get ready to take the field. For more on the pitching matchup, we'll start on the Giants side of the field tonight. Send you down to field level with a Buster Olney.
Dan, as you mentioned, so much went wrong for the San Francisco Giants down the stretch, losing their division to the Dodgers, losing Angel Pagan, and that they come in here with incredible confidence because of the guy on the mound, Madison Bumgarner. Not only is he one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, 2.29 ERA in the second half, but he's known among teammates as being absolutely unflappable. When he was asked about this crazy crowd here in Pittsburgh, he said with his North Carolina drawl, that'll just make it more fun. Tim?
Edinson Volquez has had an amazing journey the last year for the Pirates. He was released last September by the Padres. He signed with the Pirates, had a terrible spring training, made the club as the 5th starter, figured it out this summer, and now in his last 17 starts, he's got a 1.85 ERA, and his last 18 innings have been scoreless. Dan, back to you.
All right, Tim, thank you. Moments away from first pitch here in the National League Wildcard game, and sending a shout out to our buddy and our colleague Kurt Schilling, who is not able to be with us tonight, has some minor throat discomfort, a part of his ongoing recovery, but he is tweeting. And Garrick38 says, win or go home, by far the most fun you can ever have as a pitcher. Our friend Schill loved the big moment, loved to pitch in a game like this. Edinson Volquez has only pitched in one previous postseason game. It did not go well. He did not get out of the second inning. That was as a red against the Phillies in the game where Roy Halladay no-hit Cincinnati. This is just his second postseason start.
Yeah, and that's the concern is yes, he is hot coming down the stretch. His last 12 starts, an ERA under 2. But the thing you concern yourself with is the overhype, because even Clint Hurdle said he could be an emotional pitcher, and if he's too emotional, elevating, it could be, you know, watch for the Giants try to take advantage of that early.
Gregor Blanco will lead it off for the Giants tonight. And everyone pumped up, to say the least. It's a blackout here in Pittsburgh tonight. The Pirates setting a record for attendance this year, hosting this game for the second year in a row, making the playoffs for the second year in a row. And listen to this ballpark. Blanco ready, Volquez ready, and we are underway. Oh! Ball one, says Brian Gorman, the home plate, and in many ways had maybe even a better season this year than last year. Posey had a great season as well, and lines it to McCutchen, the sliding catch to end the inning. ESPN's coverage of the National League Wildcard game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Buster Olney, Tim Kirkchin back for the bottom of the first here at a beautiful PNC Park. A great night for a ball game. The Giants go in order in the top of the first here in the NL Wildcard game. And now Madison Bumgarner, an 18-game winner during the season, gets set to take on Clint Hurdle's Pittsburgh Pirates. A good offensive team during the regular season. Top 4 in the league in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage. And they got hot late when they needed to, winning 17 of their last 23 and heading to the postseason for the second year in a row. And how about Josh Harrison? He plays everywhere. He has solidified himself as the leadoff hitter, and he finished second in the National League to Justin Morneau in batting during the season, a .315 average. Incidentally, Andrew McCutchen finished third. Buster Posey was fourth. Tell us about the big left-hander.
Well, he's not scared, Dan, and that's the big thing. Coming into a game like this, he's better on the road as he is at home. And the thing about Madison Bumgarner is he's unemotional. There's not going to be a lot that distracts him. Remember last year, the Johnny Cueto dropping the ball, and the Pirates fans were all over Johnny Cueto. Not sure that's going to bother Madison Bumgarner.
Bumgarner with a lot of postseason experience. We mentioned he's made 2 World Series starts, one in 2010, one in 2012. Did not give up a run in either one of them. Overall, 3-2 with a .379 ERA in the postseason. And he starts Harrison with a strike. A year ago, he pinch ran twice. It's a fly ball toward the right field corner. Pence racing and makes the catch just in fair territory down the line to retire Harrison. Hey, in a playoff game, do you like getting the ball hit to you early, kind of get some of the butterflies out of the way?
Yes, very much so. And, you know, Hunter Pence has to think this is a piece of cake because of the outfield wall in San Francisco. And you see Bumgarner right there. He knows how big it is to keep Josh Harrison off the bases. And Hunter Pence with the little tongue wag there.
Which will bring up the reigning National League MVP, Andrew McCutchen. In spite of missing a couple of weeks with a fractured rib in late August, he had another magnificent season. And he is slightly popular here in Western Pennsylvania.
Well, he truly is. And then, you know, we talked about the 2 days helping Pence and Sandoval and Posey, you know, rest those legs. How about the 2 days off that McCutchen had to rest their rib?
So good. 2 up, 2 down. And ahead of McCutchen. And he got him on a swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. McCutchen strikes out. And we're scoreless at the end of 1. Pablo Sandoval, Hunter Pence, the first 2 hitters coming up for the Giants. Belt first pitch swinging. Pops it up left side. Harrison racing down the line. Juggled and cannot make the catch. A great effort as Harrison went, boy, it had to be 100 feet down the left field line, but just could not come up with it cleanly. Listen to the ovation he gets there.
A great ovation and well deserved, but this is what Josh Harrison brings to your team. All out hustle, never giving up on that ball. And really, I bet if you ask him after the game, probably a ball he thought he should catch right here. It hits on the heel of his glove. He kind of overran it. Still would have been a spectacular play.
This is a guy who's played all over the field for the Pirates wherever they have needed him. He has settled in the last couple of months as the everyday third baseman after the throwing issues and then the injury to Pedro Alvarez. And he gives the Pirates energy like Pence gives the Giants energy.
Good eye by Belt.
And it's ball 4. The Giants with 2 men on and only 1 out. First strikeout of the night for Volquez, and it's a big one as he strands a couple of runners in the top of the second. This start tonight, last pitched a week ago yesterday, last Tuesday at Dodger Stadium. Strike 3, and Walker knew it.
You wonder what Neil Walker might be looking for here. 0-2 fastball, pretty much center cut, thigh high, middle of the plate. Apparently he thought that cutter was coming and going to run in off the plate and try to jam him. But getting fooled on a fastball in a 0-2 count.
Second strikeout of the night for Bumgarner.
Risked it.
A high fly ball, a pop-up really into shallow right center field. Who wants it? And it will be Panic making the catch as he almost got upended by Pence. But he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. Bumgarner, like Volquez, 2 shutout innings in the books. Back here in Pittsburgh, where the noise in this ballpark already may have had an impact, and the Giants fortunate to make a play and not have a collision.
Yeah, and this is something that could cause you to win or lose a game. You see Joe Panic going back. He's not saying anything. Hunter Pence coming in. He is saying, I got it, but it doesn't matter because Panic, there's no way he could hear Buster Posey coming from that far, hear him in the, calling that ball, so Panic just went after it. And you see him, they're talking about it right now. He panics like, I just keep going back till I hear something. But if you don't hear anything, you just keep going.
Fly ball to right field. Inning over. To the bottom of the third, no score. 8-9-1. Josh Harrison, the leadoff hitter, due up third for the Pirates. Well, if you ask baseball fans about what are the nicest ballparks to go see a game at, you might get more mentions for these two teams' parks than any other.
Oh, without question. I think they're my 1 and 2. I mean, anytime you can get on a boat with a fire pit, the dog running around.
I'm a little worried we might lose you, that you just might up and leave and do the game from there.
They're checking us out, of course. We got a bunch of dogs in there, yeah. Nice fire pit. We got
nice. They have had the depth to fill in and replace them. And Bumgarner gets him. Third strikeout of the night for the big lefty.
Oh, Snyder hits lefties good, but not many lefties are as good as Madison Bumgarner. And this is what you're facing as a left-handed hitter. He has a little bit of a crossfire like Jared Weaver. A low 3/4 delivery. Look at everything's coming at you right there. The long stride. But then the power right there with the 3/4 delivery. Hard to pick up. I would imagine as a left-handed hitter, it'd be difficult to pick up.
Chases. Posey up with it. And the inning is over. Bumgarner on a roll. Through 3, we are still scoreless. Welcome back to PNC Park, the home of the Pirates. We go to the top of the 4th inning. No score here in the National League Wildcard game. The Pirates hosting the Giants. Now 7 for 14 in his career against Volquez. Hits one a long way down the right field line, high and deep and foul.
You wonder why a guy can take pitches like Pablo is. When you have those kind of numbers against opposing pitcher, you're seeing it pretty well. And you know, if you're Volquez, hope to get Pablo Sandoval to chase it.
Didn't get it down enough, and it's lined into right center. A base hit. Sandoval's 2 for 2. And a bouncer through the left side, a base hit. And the Giants have the first 2 men aboard here in the 4th inning. Throw down to first, but back in safely is Pence.
Well, that's a set play by Russell Martin, and you see it. That's where you want the pitch as a catcher. You want it up out of the zone, you preferably up and in. That way he can get it and get around the left-handed hitter, Brandon Belt, to make a throw. And look at all the room he had to throw. And Gabby Sanchez sneaking in behind Pence, but Pence being alert, getting back in time.
Not going. And it's high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. They've just pitched recently. They're being held back in case they advance. Locke, Worley, 2 other starters are. It's a 9-man pitching staff for Pittsburgh in this game. A 10-man pitching staff for the Giants. Nobody's up at the moment in the Pirates' pen. The batter is Brandon Crawford. And Crawford, who had a fly ball sharply to right field his first time up, had a pretty productive offensive season. He hit 10 homers. He had 10 triples. He had 20 doubles, and he drove in 69 runs on the season.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers right there. Runners in scoring position, how hot he's been since August 30th. You know, the month of September, he was very productive at runners in scoring position. Here's where you want to try to get something to drive.
And the curveball is hit high and deep to right field. It is gone. Brandon Crawford silences the crowd here in Pittsburgh with a grand slam. And Clint Hurdle is on the phone to the bullpen.
And here's a, we thought Russell might want to go back to that breaking ball, but you want to bounce it. There's an 85 changeup right there to Crawford, then a fastball way out of the zone, called a strike, and then there's the breaking ball, and there's another breaking ball that he wanted buried down and in, and instead kept it up in the zone. And Crawford, like we said, hitting with runner scoring position, takes it out.
Ishikawa grounds out for the first out.
Yeah, this is one you want buried down on the ground, at his back ankle to try to get him to swing over top of it. And I mean, that's just up in the zone. And when you're trying to just lift something in the air to try to hit a sacrifice fly to try to get one run in, Brandon Crawford got the bonus plan with the big grand slam in this winner go home game.
And in a one-game winner-take-all situation, it can sometimes be, not that he's necessarily the unlikeliest of heroes, but anybody can jump up and change the game with one swing of the bat. And Brandon Crawford, a grand slam, 4-0. And a swing and a miss, 2 down. Crawford emptied. And another ground ball. Hitting over, but damage has been done. Brandon Crawford got a hanging breaking ball and deposited it in the seats in right to give the Giants a 4-run lead. But he has been stellar so far tonight. And another swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Posey snaps it down to first, and that's strikeout number 5 already for Bumgarner.
Well, you wonder why he can get, strike out so many guys and only have a low pitch count, because he's hitting his spot on almost every pitch. And there you see it, up and in, down and away to a lefty. He's controlling all quadrants of the plate, and when he needs to throw his breaking ball, once he gets ahead, he gets him to swing and miss. Edinson Volquez got ahead. He couldn't bury that breaking ball, gave up the home run to Brandon Crawford, the grand slam to Brandon Crawford. When Madison Bumgarner's throwing that breaking ball, he's throwing it with a purpose to bounce it and get swings and misses from these aggressive Pirate hitters.
Guys, Jake Peavy says that Madison Bumgarner is the most unaffected person he's ever been around in baseball. He talked about how he keeps everything simple. And Dave Rigetti, their pitching coach, told me that before today's game, when Bumgarner was going around the clubhouse, he was stoic as always, and he had questions, but not about facing the Pirates, just about the timing of the pregame ceremonies and the introduction, because he wanted to get into his routine. Dan?
All right, Buster, thank you. He certainly has been into his routine tonight. That's the first walk.
Game is, and
how about
stealing bases is a game.
How about Martin trying to bunt his way aboard, thrown out by a half step. So your catcher, your cleanup hitter, who's got a tight hamstring, is obviously healthy enough and still aggressive enough to try to bunt his way aboard, and they're on the phone to see if it's worth asking for a replay. But the naked eye looked like he was out.
It did look like he was out, and Brandon Belt, with a great footwork around the base, it actually looked like he might have pulled his foot off a little early just by the naked eye.
Clint Hurdle's on his way out. And nice for Clint that Joe West is going to come meet him halfway so that Clint doesn't have to get all the way to first base on that bad hit. That's a lot of years in baseball between those two, right?
Yeah, there is. And Joe West's in better shape than Clint Hurdle right now. Yeah,
Did Belt's foot come off?
Looked like he was. Nope, he held it. He held it, and he got him.
And they are not going to review it.
Touch and walk.
To left field, Ishikawa is tested for the first time and makes the catch, and the inning is over. End of 4-0 Giants. Going to the top of the 5th, the Giants lead the Pirates 4-0 between innings. Tim Kirkchin with Pittsburgh manager Clint Hurdle.
Clint, Edison Volquez ran into a little trouble in the 4th inning. What did you see from him there?
Well, it's something we've seen in the past. I mean, you get some base runners, he makes pitches, had some base runners early, he's able to work through it, hung a breaking ball, hit out of the park. One big swing in the bat, gets 4 runs.
What challenges has Madison Bumgarner presented so far?
Right now, he's running the ball in tight on the right-handers. You know, he'll use that fastball cutter. We've probably seen more breaking balls than we did the last time he pitched. Also seeing some changeups, so he's mixing, changing speeds very well, staying out of the middle of the plate.
Clint, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Madison Bumgarner definitely on top of his game so far tonight, is unquestioned. Good change up there, and the inning is over. Going bottom 5. Giants 4, Pirates nothing here in Pittsburgh.
And I'm saying them, 'cause I'm so devout, till the love runs out, till the love runs out. You got my mind made up, and I can't let go. I'm killing every second.
And he gets him swinging. Number 6 on the night for Bumgarner. How do you get a pitcher as good as this guy who's in a rhythm like this out of his rhythm?
Well, by not swinging at balls out of the strike zone. I think Neil Walker right here, this pitch up on a 3-2 pitch up. But that's just, you know, I have a 4-run lead. I'm going to throw a fastball up and away. If you hit it out to right field over that 21-foot high wall, tip your cap. But you know, he's working against the aggressiveness right now of the Pittsburgh Pirates hitters.
Just a single by Martin to begin the 2nd, and a 1-out walk to McCutchen in the 4th. That's it.
And two days off is great, but 4 days off is better.
Snyder chases, and it's another good inning for Bumgarner. He's now up to 7 strikeouts through 5 shutout innings, and it remains 4-0 Giants. Welcome back to Pittsburgh, along with John Kruk, Buster Olney, Tim Kirkchin. I'm Dan Schulman. The National League Wildcard game on ESPN. 4-0 the Giants lead. All of the runs coming on one swing of Brandon Crawford's bat. And because Volquez's spot did not come up in the bottom of the 5th, he's back out to work the top of the 6th.
And possibly make a double switch and burn a player.
And Pence draws the walk. And Clint Hurdle is going to make his way out to the mound. And there's the call. So that's going to be it for Volquez. Wilson on his way into the game for the Pirates, with the Giants already leading 4-0 and the leadoff man aboard here in the 6th inning.
No more tomorrow. There's only this moment, where one pitch can constitute a slump, and one swing, a streak.
Welcome back to the National League Wildcard game on ESPN. And what a moment for Brandon Crawford back in the 4th inning. A grand slam. That's all the offense in the game right now. Justin Wilson in to pitch for Pittsburgh. Hunter Pence aboard on the leadoff walk. Crawford on deck. And his wife Jalen is tweeting. Hashtag grand slam. Hashtag playoffs. Pretty good night for the Crawfords so far, as Brandon Belt takes a strike. Justin Wilson, one of 3 left-handed relievers, 4 including starter Jeff Locke, and available in the bullpen tonight for the Pirates. 70 appearances in the regular season. And the Giants with a lot of left-handed bats in the lineup tonight. That'll get away, and Pence will take second. Charge to Wilson. Pulls it sharply, and it scoots off the glove into Walker into right field for a base hit. And Pence is going to race home with the 5th run of the night for the Giants.
Great piece of hit by Brandon Belt. You wanted to get Hunter Pence over, and you got the bonus plan. I think the Giants were benefited by the fact that it did hit Neil Walker's glove and slowed it up before it got to Travis Snyder. You see that right there? It looks like he just barely tipped his glove, but I mean, Brandon Belt's in dead pull mode right here. Get Hunter Pence to third base, and it looks like it just hit the pinky of Neil Walker's glove and slowed it up. That gave Pence enough time to go around. And Tim Flannery told me last week he's been one of the loneliest men in baseball. Getting some action today. And he has a lot to be comfortable about this Grand Slam. Look at the swing by Crawford. See how he brings his hands in. Heard Barry Bonds say, if I can catch you with my top hand, I can hit anything. Crawford's hands in, the top hand comes over and just powers through that baseball to hit it in the second row of the right field seats above that Roberto Clemente 21-foot high wall. Possibly could be sending the Giants on to the division series with that swing.
And Wilson walks Ishikawa. 2 on with a 1 out as we send it down to Buster Olney.
Guys, an example of how much confidence that the Giants have in Madison Bumgarner came last week in their game against the Dodgers. If you remember, they were down 3-2 in the 8th inning. Bumgarner's spot was about ready to come up. Bruce Bochy went to him and explained to him that he was going to have to take him out for a pinch hitter. Bumgarner was arguing with him, said, no, Boch, you can't let me do that. And Boch said, I know. And Bumgarner looked at him and said, you ain't talking to me like you know. And then Bochy said, okay, you're right, go ahead and hit. Now, he struck out, but it gives you an idea of exactly how much faith they have in Bumgarner.
For a guy who hasn't been around all that long, just 25 years of age, he has earned a lot of that respect in the last few years. We have a pitching change, we have a double switch, we have Jared Hughes racing in, and we have the Pirates trying desperately to grasp onto anything to give them a little momentum here in this game. You can see the long faces. The energy has really changed in this ballpark. Roller to short. Hitting over. A run in for the Giants to the bottom of the 6th. They're up 5-0. It's rally cap time. It's rally cap time. That's a Pirate.
Yes, it is. Not a happy one either.
And strike 3 called to get Talbot. A strikeout number 8 for Bumgarner. Are they keeping the faith here in Pittsburgh? All they have to do is maybe think about what happened at Kansas City last night. Oakland led 7-3 before the Royals just started chipping away, running away, bunting away. Even George Brett couldn't believe it after Salvador Perez, who had chances earlier to win the game, came up with a base hit down the left field line to score the winning run in the 12th in a wild card game.
And buy in too.
A fly ball to shallow right center field, and it'll be Blanco making the catch. McCutchen is retired, and the Pirates go by the wayside at the bottom of the 6th.
Spot in the batting order. Oh, they tried Hunter Pence there, and there's another hit by Panic. It's just what he does.
Puts the ball in play line to line. And the leadoff man is aboard for the 4th time in 7 innings tonight.
As Oakland did in the month of September, it's hard to be confident coming into the postseason.
Posey with a base hit. And 1st and 2nd with a nobody out for the Giants here in the 7th. Runners are going. And it's ball 4 to load the bases.
I think that's going to tell you everything you need to know about Pablo Sandoval. You know, when your runners are hitting, you want to try to protect them. But I think that tells Bruce Bochy how locked in he is to send the runners with the guy who's a free swinger. It's an interesting decision, though, right here by Clint Hurdle.
And there's a liner into right center field, a base hit. One run is home, and here comes a second run as Belt has driven in 3. Crawford has driven in 4, and it is 7-0 Giants. And they are in disbelief here in Pittsburgh.
Well, you see the grip right there. He's trying to throw that two-seamer to sink away from Brandon Belt, and it elevated too much above the knees, mid to lower thigh, and Brandon Belt goes out and hooks one into the outfield center field, easily scoring both runs and giving no chance for McCutchen to throw anyone out at all.
So the Giants keep piling on. They've added 2 more here in the 7th. Crawford and Belt have done the damage tonight. And Laframboise is on his way in here in the 7th. Brandon Crawford with his 3rd career grand slam, his first in the postseason. That made it 4-0 back in the 4th. Another in the 6th. 2 more here in the 7th. All Giants. Behind Crawford and Belt offensively, Bumgarner on the mound. And making his playoff debut is left-hander Bobby Laframboise. And a ground ball to second. And there's the double play they were looking for. But not before a couple more runs score. 7th inning stretch in Pittsburgh, 7-0 Giants. Going bottom 7 here at PNC Park. Pirates are down 7. Brandon Crawford with a grand slam. Brandon Belt 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and Madison Bumgarner Truckee has been outstanding, efficient, just in control, it seems, the whole night.
Yeah, as advertised, knowing coming into this game, everyone knew that he was the Giants guy to win the big game for him, their #1 pitcher all season long. And boy, has he really lived up to that in this one tonight.
Jammed him, and he gets a pop-up. In foul territory, a play for Sandoval, and he makes the catch and sticks the landing. That's a heck of a play.
That's a great play. You know, you hear people talk about Pablo Sandoval and his weight and all that, but I tell you what, the guy's pretty nimble and pretty athletic, and you see that play right there. You know, most guys are tumbling in the dugout, landing on their head. He did a perfect flip right here. You see, I never took his eyes off. Right hand reaches out, grabs the rail. He knew exactly where he was, and then a little somersault and back up the steps, and let's go get him, boys. 1 out.
Now strike to Marte.
Watch you look at that.
That's a graceful Panda right there.
Just
Pirates have now not had a runner past second base all night long. They've never had 2 men on in the same inning. It has been a dominant performance by Bumgarner. He's got 8 strikeouts tonight.
Guy that in 2010 they left off the playoff roster altogether.
And that's going to be the inning. Sanchez pops up. Runs a base hit and a man left. End of 7. Giants 6 outs away from advancing. In the ride that this guy's been on this year.
Guarantee
as he
you,
walks Blanco.
I guarantee you, when he was in Amarillo,
yeah,
he never once thought to himself, well, I wonder how I'm going to do in this wild card game. I wonder if I'll get in.
And a base hit through the left side for Panic, his 3rd hit of the game.
Nervous. First postseason game ever. He's a little...
Up the middle and through, a base hit. And Blanco's going to come in to score on an RBI single by Posey. It's 8-0.
Buster Posey, we talked about how hot he was coming in, and I mean, that's a pitch probably down in the strike zone, and see how he just goes down and gets it. Uses his hands great. Barrel the bat, but the head's always staying still with Buster Posey. No movement in the head. Can track the ball a lot longer. And again, another guy who, even though he has power, doesn't try to do too much with his swing. It's very simple, very compact, but very efficient.
Off the glove of Holtzcomb, backhanded by Walker, shovel to Mercer. Hitting over. Another run, though, for the Giants. We're going to the bottom of the 8th here into Pittsburgh. They're getting closer. They can feel it. They're up 8-0, going bottom 8. ESPN's coverage of the National League Wildcard game is brought to you by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement. That is a Tremonti Brothers sandwich, Grucky. That's a Pittsburgh tradition. Fries and slaw right on the sandwich.
Is that bologna? Look like bologna.
You want one? That ball is caught by Pence. Brent Morrell pinch hitting. It's the first pitch down the line. And maybe not quite the flair of the Sandoval play from last inning, but an excellent effort there by Pence.
Well, the Giants can do absolutely nothing wrong here. Saw Pablo go over the dugout rail and Hunter Pence just reaching over that short fence. Most of the fences down each line in most ballparks are 12 feet high, 14 feet high, and that one's a low one here in PNC Park, and Hunter Pence reaches over. I don't know if he hurt something or might have banged his leg up against that fence.
They're trying to believe this could be trouble. Harrison beats it out. Tabata comes to third. Be a base hit for Harrison and an error on Joaquin Arias, who came on this inning, allowing Talbot to go from second to third.
The 8th inning of an 8-0 game, and the regular season you're trying to hold them back a day or two to give them rest, but you know, they have off tomorrow if they do win this one tonight. Go back at them Friday in Washington.
Mercer strikes out, second out of the inning, 9th strikeout of the game for Bumgarner as Romo and Strickland continue to warm. And now it'll be McCutchen. He has been in the strike zone all night long, but not right down the middle. I mean, he's been commanding both sides of the strike zone.
Both sides and up and down.
At 100 pitches right now through 7 2/3.
Just, you know, once Tabata got to third base, it just doesn't seem like he wants to let him score, does he?
And a ground ball to short. And that ends the inning. If it's the end of the night for Bumgarner, what a job he has done tonight. 8 shutout innings here in the wild card game.
Managers, they change. Now all of a sudden, I'm the boss. I have to be different. He's the same.
Crawford strikes out to end the inning. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. It looks like Bumgarner is coming back out to try to finish it off.
Six months, 162 games. It's all for this. The National League Wildcard game on ESPN.
This is the story that is coming.
Well, the Pirates fans saluting their team for the season they had. More than for the belief they have that they can come back right now. It ain't over till it's over. But it's 3 outs away from being over here for the Pirates, but still second year in a row in the postseason, and a very appreciative group of fans here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, a lot of long time coming for Pirates fans to see them in the postseason, but this guy here was about as good as you can get tonight.
Doug Glanville chiming in on Twitter. If you don't get him early, you don't get him at all.
You don't get him in the first, you get him in the. You won't get him in the. You will.
He'll get you in the ninth. Yeah. Russell Martin leads it off and hits a fly ball to center field. 1 down. The last shutout in the postseason for the Giants, Tim Lincecum, back in 2010. They're thanking Russell Martin for a great year, and they're hoping that's not the last they'll see of him in a Pirates uniform.
Saw that sign right there, pay Russell.
He tips his cap.
Yeah, I don't know what will be of this team if he's not back here next year. I mean, he brought a fire and an intensity to this team that they had been lacking.
Runners at first and third. It was as a result of an infield hit and 2 errors. And that has been a huge pitch for him. He's gotten 4 or 5 strikeouts on that breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, but that breaking ball in the dirt set up by that great fastball to both sides of the plate, running the cutter in on the righty's hands. And once you speed up the right-handed hitters with that fastball cutter in, you know, you're liable to get the swing and miss. But thing is, Dan, he's been ahead in the count. He's pounding the strike zone ahead in the count, and he's making the Pittsburgh Pirates hitters become far more aggressive.
You talk about guys who are true number ones: Kershaw, Felix Hernandez, Chris Sale, Adam Wainwright, and others. This guy's got to be included as a legit ace,
without
right?
question. And I mean, at such a young age, you know, pitching in the postseason, pitching in World Series games, and now in this wild card game, and just being as dominant as he's been. Yeah, without question.
Doesn't look like he's broken a sweat tonight. Obviously, he's worked hard, but he's been in a rocking chair.
He's upset about some at bats, I think, more than anything else. I think he did walk someone.
Walked one guy. Walked McCutcheon.
Yeah. So he's probably upset about that. But
4 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Tempo hasn't changed. Expression hasn't changed. And this should do it. Buster Posey puts the squeeze on it, and the San Francisco Giants have defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates and advanced on to the National League Division Series, where they will begin a best-of-5 with the Washington Nationals on Friday. Bumgarner, a 4-hit shutout. Brandon Crawford, a grand slam. Brandon Belt, 3 RBIs. And for Andrew McCutcheon and the Pirates, another good season, an exciting season, but it lasts just 1 game in the postseason, unlike last year, as they are shut out by the Giants here tonight. Bruce Bochy and the Giants on to the next round, and a team you have to respect because of their experience, their pedigree, what they've done in 2012, 2010.
Even year. Watch out for the Giants.
109 pitches for Bumgarner, a 4-hit shutout, 10 strikeouts. Belt drives in 3. Crawford hits a grand slam and smiles all around as the Giants are headed to the nation's capital to begin a series with the Nationals on Friday. Final score here at PNC Park: the Giants 8 and the Pirates nothing. Stay tuned for more coverage from here in Pittsburgh coming up next on SportsCenter. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For John Kruk, Buster Olney, Tim Kirkjian, and our crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying so long from Pittsburgh. Here are Steve Levy and Kevin Connors.
Dan, thank you. See those drops on our camera lens? Those are tears raining down in Pittsburgh. Hollywood stayed home. Hollywood was in Kansas City last night. Did not bother to show up in the Berg this evening.
It was, in fact, an absolutely dominating performance by Madison Bumgarner. 4-hit shutout for the Giants. They get the big hit from Brandon Crawford, the grand slam. First ever playoff grand slam by a shortstop in baseball history. Kevin Connors, Steve Levy, Doug Glanville, Dallas Braden. The story, though, Steve, Madison Bumgarner.
No question about it. The unquestioned ace of the San Francisco Giants. This is exactly what you expect out of your ace in what might as well be a Game 7. And here he is. Here's the man they affectionately call Bum with the man we affectionately call Buster.
Madison, all kinds of pressure in this game. Winner take all. Crazy crowd. How did you respond so well?
You know what? You just got to, for me, anyway, I just got to try to push all that aside. I mean, it's fun.
you know, if you're not playing, you can be excited and nervous and all that. But if you're pitching and playing in the game, you got to find a way to push all that aside and come out here and just try to make pitches like we did tonight. And that's it.
Clint Hurdle said in the middle of the game that you look very different from the last time that you faced the Pirates. You're using an off-speed pitch a lot more. What was your game plan?
You know what? Just to pitch to our strengths, and you know, just nothing special. Just tried to make pitches. Last time against those guys, I didn't do a good job of that. I was behind in the counts a lot, and just putting them in good situations to hit in. And tonight we were able to get ahead and make pitches. So.
From your perspective, how did Brandon Crawford's swing change the game?
Oh, that was huge. I mean, we go from a nothing ball game to 4-0, you know, pretty early on like that. That's big for us. So.
You had 101 pitches after 8 innings. I saw you had a brief conversation with Dave Righetti. Was there any talk about you coming out after 8?
Not for me. So I said, I mean, you know, obviously they got to do what they got to do, but I want them to stay out there. So. How
do you feel about your chances going up against the Nationals?
I feel pretty good about it. They definitely got a good ball club. There's no doubt about that. And I don't think, you know, everybody that's still playing now has got a really good club. So, you know, I feel good about it. We got Peavy and Huddy going, and you know, Huddy knows those guys real well, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun series.
Madison, thanks. Back to you.
Thanks. All right, Buster. Thanks very much. You see, they're ready to pop some of the bubbly in that San Francisco Giants clubhouse. Of course, there's still a lot of work to be done. A couple more rounds, maybe 3 rounds. We'll see how it goes. Let's get back before we were so rudely interrupted. I believe we're being rudely interrupted again. Back to Tim Kirkchin, I'm told.
Yes.
Brandon Crawford.
Brandon, this has been an uneven season, but you guys have got to the LDS at Washington. What does that say about this club?
You know, we've had a lot of ups and downs this year, but, you know, we got here. That was the goal in spring training, just to get to the playoffs. And, you know, we still have some work to do against a good Washington team. But we're trying to get to the whole thing. We're trying to get to the World Series.
You're the first shortstop ever to hit a grand slam in a postseason game. What do you think about that?
That's crazy. You know, with all the great shortstops that have played before, I mean, it's pretty special. I'm happy to be able to do it.
Take me through that at bat in the 4th inning.
I mean, the guys in front of me had great at-bats. Pablo had a good long at-bat and got a single. Hunter got a base hit. Bell had a great walk. And I was happy to be able to be in that situation. And the last thing on my mind was probably hitting a home run. I was just trying to hit something good enough to get Pablo home. And I figured that would probably be good enough for Madison.
Last thing, what's it like playing behind Madison Bumgarner when he throws the ball like that?
It's a little boring. He's getting so many strikes. I don't get a whole lot of action. No, he was on tonight. He was locating early. He was on all of his pitches. And I mean, when he does that, he's lights out.
Brandon, thanks so much. Back to you.
All right, Tim. We'll try to keep it here for at least a couple seconds. You see the celebration underway. Hey, if we're going to be interrupted, might as well be interrupted by the stars of the game. Brandon Crawford. Incredible hit and the unbelievable pitching by Madison Bumgarner, getting the job done. 109 pitches in the complete game in a winner-take-all. Might as well be a Game 7. Single game elimination. National League wild card today. The Giants dominate the Pirates in every facet, 8-0. And the party is, as you can see, is well underway. We're talking about Madison Bumgarner's demeanor. He's so cool and calm. You think he even partakes in that, or he's already focused on Game 3 of the next series?
Fill it up with fastballs early and allow them to get themselves out.
All right, I want to head back now to Pittsburgh, outside of the Giants clubhouse, and way up to the press box. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, and maybe, just maybe, Kurt Schilling still on Twitter. Guys, take it away.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. An outstanding performance tonight by the Giants, a team showing its experience, its calm, even without a key player in Angel Pagan, even on the road. It started with Madison Bumgarner, who had just an outstanding performance. He was an easy choice, obviously, to pitch this game. 18-game winner during the regular season, and never really was in trouble all night long.
No, not at all. And the only inning was in trouble because of an error, an infield single, and an error on top of that infield single to put runners on first and third. and then he just got big outs. But here's what he was able to do in this game with the strikeouts. He was getting the Pittsburgh Pirates to take strikes and swing at balls. And when you can do that, that means your command is impeccable with all your pitches. And when he had to bounce a breaking ball, he bounced it, trusting Buster Posey would block it like that right there. But you see the fastballs in the strike zone. He said he threw enough fastballs, cutters in on these righties to keep them honest for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Then when he needed to strike out, he could go breaking ball or fastball away and get strikeouts looking and swinging in and out of the strike zone.
Over the course of a season, your stars are your stars, but in a one-game winner-take-all situation, anybody can be the star. And tonight, Brandon Crawford was that guy.
Yeah, and well, a beautiful at-bat with the bases loaded. And once he hit this ball, you had to think that since Bumgarner was pitching so good, this was over. But you look at the swing, a cutter in by Edson Volquez right there. You see the slider hanging in the strike zone, and like he said, he told Buster Olney, all I was trying to do was get something into the outfield to score Pablo Sandoval, thinking that would be enough for Madison Bumgarner. Once he hit the grand slam, 4 runs, more than enough the way he was pitching.
So the Giants had advanced to the National League Division Series of Best of 5 against the Washington Nationals beginning Friday. Your thoughts? Handicap that series a little bit.
Well, I want to see who's pitching first for the Washington Nationals. You know, again, I think would be it's going to be a great series either way. I think it'd be even a better series if somehow they can pitch Madison Bumgarner in Game 1 to match up with the Nationals #1, whoever that may be for Matt Williams.
Guessing Bumgarner's Game 3, guessing Peavy's Game 1 as the Giants take on the Nationals in D.C. beginning Friday. A 4-hit shutout for the left-hander. Crawford a grand slam, Belt 3 RBIs. Posey drives in a run. And the Giants come to Pittsburgh and subdue the Pirates to advance. They beat the Pirates 8-0, and they're on to the NLDS. Back to the studio.